Kumar Sangakkara and Jason Roy both scored hundreds, the latter with the best innings of his career, as Surrey batted out the last day of the rain-ruined LV County Championship match at Wantage Road to draw with Northamptonshire. Nothing else could have been expected as the last day began with Surrey on 155 for 3 in reply to Northamptonshire's 309. It was all about securing as many bonus points as possible. Sangakkara began the morning on 28 and it took him 55 minutes to convert that into his third 50-plus score of the summer, this one arriving off 81 balls with his 7th 4. With no pressure on him, there was already an inevitability that the Sri Lankan would go on to make yet another 100. He lost Stephen Davis at the other end in the next over, the batsman pulling a short ball from Stephen Crook into the hands of Azarullah at long leg to go for 44. He'd started the day on 30. That brought in Roy, who wasted no time to play some shots of aggression. Whether short or full, he went after the ball on a pitch which may not have even provided a positive result had 166 overs not been lost to the weather on the first couple of days. The sun was shining now, especially on these two Surrey batsmen. Roy came down the wicket to scatter supporters in the stand and to reach a 50 off 65 balls. As well as that maximum, the 24-year-old had also struck 5 fours. He was eyeing up plenty more as well, as he received a handshake of congratulations from his partner. Surrey had the 300 up in the 78th over, and it was fairly obvious with these two at the crease that maximum batting bonus points were going to be accrued, and that was all the visitors had set out to do at the start of the day. At times, batting looked very easy indeed on this placid pitch, which offered spinner Rob Keogh no assistance at all. This was a batsman's dream, the last day being played out with no pressure at all as well. Boundaries were struck at regular intervals by these two, one in the twilight of his phenomenal career, the other near the start of one that promises so much. Roy is a player still developing his game, but he has already had plenty of those in the know talking up his talents. First to his 100 was Sangakkara, who was at 3 figures for the 52nd time in the first-class game and for the 86th time overall in a career which has brought him nearly 40,000 runs in all formats. Such things would have been unthinkable not too many years ago. His second ton for Surrey used up 174 balls and included 10 fours. Roy's 5th first-class century came off just 114 balls, from which he'd hit 12 fours and 1 6. It was a classy knock, typified by the stroke that took him to 3 figures. It was great to see the fielders applaud his efforts too. His partnership with Sangakkara was to go on to realise 170 runs in 35.5 overs. It was something of a surprise then when Sangakkara was well taken by Adam Rossington behind the stumps off Crook, the two former Middlesex players combining to remove the Surrey man for 111. In spite of that loss, the runs kept on coming when Gary Wilson arrived at the crease, with his side on 372 for 5, the 400 for maximum batting points brought up in over number 94. All that was left now was for Northamptonshire to get another wicket for a second bowling point, and for them to get through some overs to avoid a points punishment. Roy passed his previous best of 121 made last year in Bristol before he was superbly held in the deep by Crook for 140, the runs being made off 145 balls with 17 fours and a 6. There was still time enough left for Wilson to get to his 50 off 48 deliveries. He'd hit 6 fours in that in what was nothing more than an extended net session out in the middle. Fair play to those hardened souls who watched this final day all the way through. At least they were entertained by Surrey's batsmen. Alex Wakely employed 8 bowlers through the day, Wilson going on to make 74 and Gareth batting 19 before the captains shook hands on a draw that was always going to happen after the rain of those first 2 days. Surrey declared on 499 for 6, only 1 run shy of their third score of 500 of the season. They took 13 points to their host 10, which was enough to put Northamptonshire up into the top 2 places in the second division table. Surrey 3 places and 5 points behind, but with a game in hand. They head to Beckenham on Sunday to meet Kent, while Northamptonshire miss the next round of games.